It's your smell. What the bird is barbecuing.
Well, it is time, my friends, for another season. What is going on, jabronis? It's your boy the Verd. I was the Season 2 champion, but honestly, I don't want to be called that. I don't want to even think about that, because the thing is, guys, that was in the ORAS format, and that's cool and all, but that was... I'm going to move a bit closer, be a bit more intimate to you guys. That was last season round. That was a completely different format. That was the ORAS format. We're not in it anymore. We're in the Sumo, Sun and Moon format here, so things have changed. The entire game as we know it has changed, and so I don't feel like I am in any more of an advantage than any of the guys in this league coming into it. But you know what I am? I'm excited for this league. I'm excited for the challenges that lie ahead for your Tampa Bay Frogadiers returning this season. And what I'm going to be doing for you guys today is going to be breaking down the picks that I did for this season. Now, going to give a few explanations for my picks. Not going to really break it down too much, because I do have some pretty awesome ideas for a lot of these mons. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to give kind of a backstory to each pick for the Pokemon. Not really explain too much about exactly what each one does, because the other thing as well is I know that my audience is very well educated. You know what a lot of these things do, and you'll see throughout the season what a lot of these mons can do. So what I would rather do for you guys is kind of just go through and explain, you know, why I picked these Pokemon. Not necessarily because of what they can do, but just why I picked them in general. And yes, as you would have guessed it, every single one of my Pokemon is going to have a wrestling nickname, so there may be a few wrestling backstories here for you jabronis to enjoy, and if you don't enjoy it, why the hell are you on my channel? Anyway, let's crack into this. So, I was sitting in my locker room, and I knew the draft was swinging around the corner, and I said, shit, it's a new format. Should I completely go with a bunch of Alolan Mons and be like, yep, this is going to be it, let's go Alolan Mons for life? And I was like, no, not really. I think the thing with a lot of players is you have to go a lot of the time with things you're comfortable with, and for me, I'm pretty comfortable with some, like, you know, some home comforts. They're not necessarily the exact same mons that I always use, but a few mons that I've used in the past, a few mons that I'm keen to use, and then some surprise packets along the way. But let's roll into the first one. I'm sitting in my locker room, and I'm looking down at my championship, and I'm thinking, okay, how did I win this? What was the big factor in me winning this championship? And I thought back, and there were a lot of thoughts running through my head. There was luck, there was skill, but one thing came into it all in the end, and I said, it's her. She's the reason why I got so far, why I did so well. So I had to pick her again, guys. I had no choice. So without further ado, the first pick for the Tampa Bay Frogadiers for their draft in the Season 3 of the PMC, franchised from last season, is your girl China, the Nidoqueen. I don't need to explain Nidoqueen to you guys. You know what she does. She takes fucking lives. She got, I think, 17 kills in the regular season, and then picked up like another 5 in playoffs. Funnily enough, she got more kills than half of the premier killers in the league from just hazards, from just status kills. It's very ridiculous. Like, Nidoqueen is a monster. The fact that I can go offensive, defensive, run hazards, like, it's so damn good. Sheer Force is a broken ability. Poison Point's also kind of fucking hilarious. So overall, Nidoqueen is a really great mon for my team. I'm very, very happy that I drafted it. I'm very keen to see what Nidoqueen can do for me this season. Oh, hell yeah. Obviously called China, the 8th wonder of the world. She is an absolute machine. Cost me an extra 40 points to get her, but I think she will be well worth the investment. Now moving on, and I was like, obviously she's the captain of the team, by the way. If you haven't already established that, then clearly you don't know me very well. Moving on, we needed like a vice captain, like a backup player, I suppose. Waiting in the wings that if China couldn't fulfill her duties, this guy would step up. And when it comes to like big guys like to step up, this guy is one of the best. He didn't have the best physique, But one thing he was very good, he's very explosive. He's got a lot of fire in him for sure. And in this format, I think, you know, paired with Nidoqueen, they form a core that is going to be very, very hard for a lot of teams to break. Now, I am, of course, talking about the monster himself, Big Daddy. Oh my god, I can't do it. There we go. Big Daddy V, the Victini. So Victini is a god among men in this in any format. Victini is a god among men, and it's going to just do amazing work. Maggie, you better not try and steal my pizza. Yeah, so I stole it. It will put in so much work for me this season. I already know Victini's caliber from watching other people use it. I'm keen for it to potentially become my new MVP. I think it has potential to do that. We'll have to wait and see. But very, very excited to use Victini this season. It's just... There's a lot of things I can say about Victini, but I'm not going to go into them now. It was also the first Pokemon on the Tampa Frogadiers squad that will have access to Z moves. So watch this space for old mate Victini. Moving on. Moving on from here. I wanted kind of a bit more of a bulkier mon. Like, Nidoqueen obviously is bulky, Victini can be bulky, but this was more like a solid defensive choice. I'd seen my good friend Choice CJ use this mon a lot, and I'm like, okay, fair enough. I like to use it too, and I like to think that this Pokemon is probably the most electrifying Pokemon in sports entertainment. You might even say it is the Great One. And that's why I nicknamed this Pokemon the Great One. For my next pick, I decided to go with Zapdos. Now, in Sun and Moon, Zapdos has static. That is awesome. That is freaking awesome, mint, great. Love it. That is going to be cool. Very excited to use static Zapdos. Very frustrating. Like, pressure is also a very frustrating thing to deal with, but static is just a 30% chance to paralyze just for free. Great. Access to default, great. U-turn plus Volt Switch, cool. As ways to set up, fantastic. Sign me up. Zapdos sounds amazing. Let's do it. Cool. There's not really much else I can say about Zapdos, guys. Like, I don't want to give away a lot of my secrets. I have plans, okay? So, moving on from old mate Zapdos, we go to a bit more of the nitty gritty. So this guy was picked probably a bit earlier than he needed to be. I'll be honest with you. Like, I didn't need to pick him this early, but I was worried. I know that J-Specs loves this Pokemon, so I didn't want him getting it again. I saw it destroy me last season, and I know how good it can be, and it gets access to a Z move that I really want to use this season, so I had to pick him up, and that is my boy Ryback the Blastoise. Not Mega, regular Blastoise. Regular Blastoise is still amazing, guys. There's a lot of reasons why. The main reason is the fact that it has Rapid Spin, which is fantastic. Torrent is actually an amazing ability. Getting down low on health, you can fire off Scalds and do an amazing amount of damage. Plus, Rain Dish is really cool for like a way of giving actually a good way of healing. Plus, it does get access to the Z moves, as I said, so I have things like, you know, Z Refresh, which would be a very obnoxious move to use. I think in the future will be really nice. But there is another Z move on Blastoise that I'm very keen to try out. Winky face. Anyway, moving on, and I wanted to look at another mon that I've used in the past to great success, and I've seen other people. One person who uses this to great success in the past has been Jack the Miendoge. I also think that a Jonah of the Great Lake Greninjas uses this quite well, but it's a mon that I've known quite well, and if people ask about me, they know that I use this Pokemon quite well, and that is my boy Stone Cold! Sorry, I went into my inner JR there, I didn't mean to. Stone Cold, the Kyurem. Not Kyurem Black, because J-Specs needed his baby Kobe Bean, but regular Kyurem. Still a phenomenal Pokemon. Ridiculous stats for a Pokemon that's only worth 100 points. Dragon Ice typing is fantastic offensively. Also not bad defensively, especially with the pressure ability. Very, very obnoxious. Really cool. Great pick, Verd. That's how I'm feeling about it. Not really, like I said, don't expect me to explain a lot of this shit. I'm just telling you the team that I've got, and you'll see more explanations in the team building videos that I do. Now let me drink my water. Really hope you didn't hear that slurp then, that was so unprofessional, but fuck it, I don't care. Moving on. So, we established Blastoise to the wall. We already had Victini, so how about we finish off that Fire Water Grass score? Now, I talked with Bubba Ray and Devon, and I said, guys, your team 3D, that means 3 people. There's going to be another guy that you had. There's going to be another Dudley that was out there that I can add to my team. And I said, yeah, man, we got a cousin. He's solid defensively. You know, he's very good at taking hits. And, you know, sometimes he can actually pack a pretty decent offense. And I'm like, sign me up, man. What's his name? And they said, to Spike Dudley. Spike Dudley. Spike Dudley do. Anyway, I've got Spike Dudley the Ferrothorn. Now, I've used Ferrothorn in the past, called it Kevin Thorn in Season 1. It did okay. It was pretty good. It does its job. Rocks, great. Spikes, fantastic. Thunderwave, Leech Seed, all that good shit. Yeah, does it die to fire? Kind of, but I can just run Ockerberry a lot of the time. I can run Protect to Scout for fire moves. Like, I have ways around them, guys. It's still a really solid one for my team. Plus the fact that, I have Victini and Blastoise, both of which already deal with that fire type weakness just fine. Also factoring in that I have Victini and Zapdos to deal with that fire type weakness. It just leads all in all to a fantastic addition to the team. Another hazard option, which is just great. Love that a lot. Also, yeah, Nidoqueen does resist the fighting. Thanks for reminding me there in the comments before you typed it, you fucking keyboard warrior. Anyway, moving on. So after I picked up Ferrothorn, I'm like, you know what, this draft is actually going surprisingly well for once. I'm actually getting some decent Pokemon. How was this possible? But I couldn't stop there. I had to keep going. And in order to keep going, I needed another solid wall. And I talked to my friend, the Boogeyman. And I said, Boogeyman, you weren't really a wall for me last season. You were kind of just a spooky guy that ended up getting me like some of the greatest mons of all time in an amazing trade. Who would you recommend from your spoopy friends that I could pick up? And he's like, well, there's this one guy who was meant to be a mummy, but turned out to be a Yeti, and then the announcer said his name wrong, but he's pretty good at being a defensive mon, and decent in battle. I'm like, okay, it sounds pretty good. What's his name? And he's like, the Yeti. And I'm like, you mean Yeti, right? It's like, no, the Yeti. And I'm like, sign him up. Sounds alright. So we've got the Yeti, the Cofagrigus. Now, yes, I know I had a Cofagrigus in Summer Showdown Tournament, called it a different name. I've had ones in the past called a different name, but I like this name for him because I think, it's just a funny wrestling meme, and it'd be funny to have a meme on my team that rhymed. I'm so proud of it. Cofagrigus is amazing because not only is it a defensive powerhouse, but under Trick Room, it's an absolute juggernaut. It has access to Carmine, Nasty Plot, so many setup moves, and some cheeky hazards. So yeah, it's just overall just a pretty decent mon in general. Fantastic ghost type as well. Spin blocking potential is great. Supports Ferrothorn, supports a lot of my team. So my defensive Pokemon are starting to all, click into place. All the gears are in motion. I'm like, shit, this is actually going to be a decent team potentially. Anyway, moving on from that, I'm like, alright. Let's dip into the higher tiers. Now, I realized with my last few picks that I had enough to get 3 Pokemon. I had 3 Pokemon left. Well, not counting in my Mega. My Mega saved to last, obviously. That's how the drafts. But when it came to my next pick, I realized I had enough for a Tier 1, a Tier 5, and a Tier 5B, which is only 20 points. So I was like, cool, okay, let's do this. So initially, I actually picked up Buzzwole. Then I looked at the rest of my team and said, wow, my team is really slow. Like, slow to the point where I want to kill myself. So, let's not run Buzzwole. Let's just, let's not do it. Let's not do it at all. Not going to happen. And I ended up trading it out right after my draft for a guy who, over the years, has got a bit weird. Not going to lie. He was the last Cruiserweight champion before TJ Perkins came along. I think he means well. Finley's not going to be here to protect him. I'm here to protect him because he is a beast still in my position. We're going to go for those frog splashes because I picked up Keldeo, otherwise known as Hornswoggle. And if you don't think that's a great Keldeo nickname, there is clearly something wrong with you. Just saying. But Hornswoggle is an absolute monster. Keldeo is still so relevant in the format. Still hits like an absolute truck. And I'm really keen to use Keldeo this season. I think it's going to be a really, really fun mon overall to use. But moving on to the final 3 picks. Holy crap, guys. We're almost done. You've been sitting through this shit for like 15 minutes and you're like, surely he's going to finish stalking by now, but you're wrong. Anyway, moving on. I needed a rock type for my team. I like having rock types on my team. They're decent. Wait a minute, Verd. Didn't you not have a rock type last season? Shut up. I like having rock types. And this guy's cool because he has decent defenses and a base 100 attack stats. So I was like, he sounds alright. He gives me stealth rock option. He's pretty cool. So I decided to go with my boy Dwayne the Regirock. Regirock, obviously, with that base 200 defense is fucking ridiculous. Decent special defense, like I said. And then also having the base 100 attack means it's a decent check to a lot of the common, like, big hitters. Especially, like, it's a great bird spam check. Like, bird spam's still annoying. I'm running over my words right now, it's bad, but bird spam is still annoying, so being able to deal with that stuff is great. And it's just a solid stealth rocker, solid mon in general. Very, very nice for my team. Happy to have him in. 2 picks left. This pick, I'm just going to kind of break it down for you guys. I got this because I had Buzzwole and realized my team was slow. However, after round 1, I am allowed to do another redraft. And I'm telling you guys now, this is immediately getting redrafted to a tier 5 mod. It is a tier 5B, but because I did Buzzwole to Keldeo, that gave me 20 more points. So I can do this guy. He'll be out as soon as I can get him. Currently in my team is Rey Mysterio the Masquerain. I got him because webs, and he's got some buffs, like base 100 special attack, base 80 speed, but if I'm going to be honest with you, probably never going to use him. I think, actually no, my round 1 matchup, he doesn't look bad. He doesn't look bad in. I don't know, I'm going to have to think about it. I haven't really planned for my round 1 matchup yet, to be fair. Not too much, that much at all. But yeah, Masquerain's kind of cool, but I'm definitely going to get rid of him straight after round 1. He's gone. So he may play 1 game and then be traded or whatever, but he's definitely gone after that first game. And that leaves my Mega. Now, because I was able to afford a tier 1, that's because I was going to get a tier 3 Mega. And you might be noticing something that's missing from my team. You're like, Verd, looks like your team is lacking a fairy. Wait a minute, Verd, there's only 1 low tier fairy. Are you kidding me right now? You're not drafting that thing, are you? Why wouldn't I? Like, I have seen my good friend, and I only say he's my good friend because I recently added him on Twitter. My good friend Travesty use this Pokemon very well. As long as I don't face off against Mega Gallade, we're fine. And that Pokemon is Eugene, which I think is the best name for this Pokemon, by the way. The Mega Ordino. Now, before you rain down the booze from the heavens on me, let me justify this for a second. Mega Ordino has over base 100 in all of its bulky stats. Fantastic. Base 80 special attack means it can actually function as a Carmine mon. Funnily enough, has more special attack than a Superior, so there's that. Has access to ridiculous amounts of moves. Not only can it just be a cleric, it can run knockoff, it can run like all this elemental shit, like, pardon me. Mega Ordino is amazing, like access to Trick Room as well, Healing Wish, all that good stuff, Thunder Wave even. Ordino is an absolute monster, and I think it's actually going to be really surprisingly good this season. I think a lot of teams are actually going to not know how to deal with it, and that's going to be great. Like, I'm very much looking forward to using Ordino this season. I think, a lot of teams are not going to have as much for it as I think they will. But that is it, guys. I got it under 20 minutes like I planned, which is great. My first team builder will be up soon, hopefully. Don't really know when. It'll be against the Richmond Rayquazas and my good friend Dom's Game Room. Going to be a great game. I haven't really planned too much about it. We'll see what happens. It's going to be a tough first game. Like I said, my expectation for this season, I finished my ORAS time. Basically, my overall ORAS record was over a 75% win rate. I want to continue that, which means that with my 12 rounds coming up this season, I want to win at least 9 of those 12. And that would start potentially against Dom in week 1. Really hope I can get the result. If you guys have enjoyed this draft recap, make sure you like this video. Subscribe to the channel if you want to watch more. Go check out the PMC. That'll be in the description. All the coaches and analysts will be in there too. Go check them all out. Great people. I'm very excited for this season. I don't know how well I'm going to do. Honestly, I'm just going to try my best to just try and smash it out. But anyway, I'm your boy, The Verd. I am your head coach of the Tampa Bay Frogadiers. Really keen for this awesome season. So hyped for it. Hope it goes well. The beard will be growing the whole season long. The hair's kind of got trimmed back a bit now, but the beard game will be strong again, my boys. The Verd Incarnate will be back, and he is ready to decimate the jabronis. I am so keen for this. Promos are coming back too, to diss my opponents. Again, they will just be fun promos, guys. No hate, please. But I'm going to get out of here. I'm the Verd. I'm out this bitch. Let's get out of here.